The Symphony of Learning, a small-town girl's journey through the streets of New York. Once upon a time, in a small town nestled between rolling hills and babbling brooks, there lived a young and ambitious English student named Emily. Despite the idyllic surroundings, Emily yearned for something more, a grand adventure that would not only teach her the nuances of the English language, but also open her eyes to the vastness of the world beyond her small community. One day, as she flipped through the pages of her well-worn English textbook, Emily stumbled upon an advertisement for an immersive English language program in the heart of the bustling metropolis, New York City. The prospect of honing her language skills amidst the towering skyscrapers and vibrant city life filled her with a sense of excitement and trepidation. With determination burning in her eyes, Emily decided to embark on this life-changing journey. Armed with a suitcase filled with dreams, a heart eager to learn, and a mind buzzing with anticipation, she bid farewell to her quaint town and set off for the Big Apple. As Emily stepped off the plane and onto the bustling streets of New York, she was immediately overwhelmed by the cacophony of sounds, the sea of faces rushing past, and the towering structures that seemed to touch the sky. It was a sensory overload unlike anything she had ever experienced. Yet, deep within her, a spark ignited, the spark of adventure. Her first day in the city was a whirlwind of exploration. Emily found herself wandering through the iconic Central Park, marveling at the skyscrapers that seemed to scrape the heavens, and soaking in the diverse culture that pulsed through the city streets. However, the language barrier became apparent as she struggled to communicate with the locals. But Emily was undeterred. She saw it as an opportunity to immerse herself completely in the language she was so eager to master. Determined to make the most of her time in New York, Emily enrolled in an intensive English language program. The school was located in the heart of Manhattan, surrounded by the vibrant energy of Times Square and the cultural richness of Broadway. Every day, Emily attended classes where she engaged in lively discussions, participated in interactive language exercises, and learned from experienced teachers who were passionate about helping their students succeed. But the true magic happened outside the classroom. Emily became friends with fellow students from around the globe, each with their unique stories and backgrounds. They formed a tight-knit community, supporting and encouraging one another as they navigated the challenges of learning a new language in a city that never slept. One of Emily's favorite places to practice her English was at a quaint coffee shop nestled in Greenwich Village. The aroma of freshly brewed coffee mingled with the lively chatter of artists and musicians who frequented the area. It was here that Emily struck up a conversation with a street performer named Alex, whose guitar strumming and soulful tunes filled the air. As their friendship blossomed, Alex became Emily's unofficial language tutor. He took her to hidden gems in the city, introducing her to the art of conversation, idioms, and the rhythm of everyday English. From the poetic lines of Shakespeare to the pulsating beats of hip-hop lyrics, Emily's journey through the city became a melodic symphony of language. The city, with its diverse neighborhoods and eclectic inhabitants, became Emily's classroom. She navigated the subway system, getting lost in the maze of stations and emerging triumphant as she mastered the art of public transportation. She dined in Chinatown, ordering dim sum with confidence, and explored the rich history of Harlem, where the echoes of jazz and the Harlem Renaissance reverberated through the streets. The months passed in a blur of learning and laughter, challenges and triumphs. Emily felt herself transforming, not just as a student of English, but as a global citizen. The city had become her teacher, and its people, her mentors. As the final weeks of Emily's program approached, she found herself reflecting on the incredible journey she had undertaken. She had not only mastered the intricacies of the English language, but had also discovered the true meaning of cultural exchange and friendship. The city that had once seemed overwhelming and intimidating had become her second home. On her last day in New York, Emily stood on the observation deck of the Empire State Building, gazing out at the city that had shaped her in ways she never imagined. The skyline glittered with lights, mirroring the sparkle in her eyes. She realized that her adventure in New York had not only been about learning English, but about discovering herself and embracing the boundless possibilities that life had to offer. With a heart full of gratitude and a mind brimming with memories, Emily bid farewell to the city that had become the backdrop of her transformative journey. As she boarded the plane back to her small town, she carried within her the lessons of New York, the resilience to face challenges, the joy of embracing diversity, and the power of language to bridge the gaps between cultures. And so, the small-town girl who had set out on a quest to master English returned home not just as a proficient speaker, but as a storyteller, ready to share the tales of her grand adventure in the city that never slept. Part 2. Bridging Borders, the global impact of Emily's New York adventure. In the weeks that followed Emily's return to her small town, the echoes of New York lingered in her every step. She couldn't help but share her tales of adventure with friends and family, transforming ordinary gatherings into captivating storytelling sessions. As the townsfolk gathered around, sipping tea and leaning in with eager anticipation, Emily transported them to the bustling streets of the Big Apple. Word of Emily's incredible journey spread like wildfire, reaching the ears of a local journalist named Sarah. Intrigued by the young woman's experiences, Sarah approached Emily for an interview. The story of a small-town girl who ventured to New York to learn English and found herself on an extraordinary adventure captivated the readers of the town's newspaper. Soon, Emily became a local celebrity, and the demand for her storytelling skills grew. She was invited to schools to inspire students, sharing the magic of language and the boundless opportunities that awaited beyond the horizon. Emily's infectious enthusiasm and the richness of her experiences became a source of inspiration for the entire community. In the midst of all this, Emily received an unexpected letter. It was an invitation from a prestigious language institute in New York, impressed by her journey and eager to have her as a guest speaker. The offer was an opportunity to return to the city that had become her second home, not just as a student, but as a beacon of inspiration for others. With excitement bubbling within her once again, Emily packed her bags and set off for New York. This time, however, she wasn't a wide-eyed student, but a confident storyteller ready to share her adventures with a larger audience. The event in New York was a grand affair, attended by language enthusiasts, educators, and curious minds eager to hear Emily's story. As she stood on the stage, the city lights illuminating her path, Emily recounted her journey, from the cobblestone streets of her small town to the towering skyscrapers of Manhattan. The audience was spellbound, hanging on to her every word as if transported to the vibrant landscapes she described. The Language Institute recognized Emily's impact on language learning and invited her to collaborate on a project aimed at inspiring students worldwide. Together, they developed an online platform that connected learners from different corners of the globe, allowing them to share their linguistic journeys, cultural experiences, and, of course, stories of triumph and growth. Emily's influence spread far beyond her small town, touching the lives of individuals hungry for inspiration and connection. The online platform became a virtual hub for language learners, fostering a sense of community and breaking down barriers that transcended borders. As Emily continued to weave her tales, she realized that her journey was not just a personal odyssey, but a bridge between worlds. The small-town girl had become a global storyteller, uniting people through the universal language of shared experiences and the beauty of linguistic diversity. And so, the girl who once dreamed of mastering English in the heart of New York became a beacon of inspiration for learners worldwide. Her story became a testament to the transformative power of language, the magic of cultural exchange, and the limitless possibilities that unfold when one ventures beyond the familiar. As Emily stood on the stage in New York, the city that had shaped her journey, she knew that her story was not just about learning a language, but about discovering the extraordinary in the ordinary, finding connection in diversity, and embracing the endless potential that lies within each of us. And thus, the Symphony of Learning continued, echoing through the hearts and minds of those who dared to embark on their own adventures, armed with the belief that every journey, no matter how small or grand, has the power to change the world. Part 3. The language luminary, Emily's journey from small town to global stage. In the aftermath of her triumphant return to New York and the subsequent global impact of her online platform, Emily's life took on a new trajectory. The small-town girl had transcended the boundaries of her quaint community, and her name became synonymous with the power of language, cultural exchange, and the pursuit of dreams. Embracing her newfound role as a global ambassador of language and inspiration, Emily continued to travel the world, sharing her story with audiences of all ages. From bustling classrooms in Tokyo to intimate gatherings in European cafes, she ignited a passion for learning and understanding through the art of storytelling. As Emily journeyed through different countries, she encountered individuals who had been touched by her narrative. Strangers approached her with gratitude, sharing their own stories of linguistic triumphs and the ways in which her experiences had inspired them to embark on their unique paths of self-discovery. During a speaking engagement in Paris, Emily met a young woman named Isabella, who, like her, hailed from a small town but harbored dreams of exploring the world. Inspired by Emily's journey, Isabella had taken the bold step of moving to the City of Light to immerse herself in the French language and culture. The two women formed a deep connection, and together, they embarked on a collaborative project to further promote cultural exchange and language learning. Their initiative involved creating a series of online workshops, connecting language enthusiasts from different corners of the globe, and fostering meaningful conversations that transcended linguistic barriers. As the project gained momentum, Emily and Isabella found themselves organizing a grand event in New York, a celebration of language, diversity, and the universal bonds that connect us all. The event attracted participants from various countries, each bringing their unique linguistic flavors and cultural nuances to the vibrant tapestry of the city. The streets of New York, which had once been the backdrop of Emily's personal Odyssey, now resonated with the collective stories of people from diverse backgrounds, all united by the common thread of language and the shared belief in the transformative power of education. In the midst of this global celebration, Emily reflected on her journey, from a small town to the bustling metropolis, from a curious student to a beacon of inspiration. She marveled at the ripple effect of her experiences, realizing that every word she had spoken, every story she had shared, had contributed to a larger narrative of connection and understanding. As the event concluded with a spectacular display of fireworks illuminating the New York skyline, Emily stood on the same observation deck where her adventure had begun. The city that had once seemed intimidating had now become a symbol of the boundless potential that resides within every individual. With a heart full of gratitude, Emily turned to Isabella, and together, they looked out over the city that had played such a pivotal role in their lives. The journey that had started with a desire to learn English had evolved into a global movement, inspiring countless individuals to embark on their own quests for knowledge, understanding, and connection. And so, the small-town girl's Odyssey continued, not just as a personal narrative, but as a collective story of shared dreams, shared languages, and the enduring belief that every journey, no matter how humble or grand, has the power to shape the world in profound ways. As Emily and Isabella stood side by side, they knew that the Symphony of Learning would echo on, resonating through the hearts of those who dared to dream, explore, and embrace the limitless possibilities that life had to offer.